Do you struggle with balancing your golf swing? In this video, I'm going to show you can improve on your stability and coordination to help move better and hit the ball more consistently during the golf swing. The first area we're going to look at in the golf swing is the stance, or specifically the base of support. What this means is when you're in your setup, particularly with the longer clubs where there's naturally more speed and force, is our base of support, is our width of stance wide enough to be able to control? If we are very narrow, it's very easy to sway left to right off the ball and lose that control and coordination into impact and lose that feeling of balance. A really simple way we can check what your base of support naturally should be at a very minimum is if we just to take a jump in the air, when we land, our brain automatically, to make sure we stabilize ourselves and not get injured, will have the width of stance to keep under control. So when I jump, you can see how naturally I've landed with my feet roughly shoulder width apart. Very rarely will we see someone land and keep very small. So make sure you do a high enough jump where you actually have to control the landing with a bit more force and find out what that base of support should look like for your body type and your strength. The best exercise we can do to strengthen that base of support and learn how to traction the ground and be strong in the key muscles is to take a heavy weight into a goblet squat position and setting up that stance width like we've been doing. And the key is to be able to try and control that motion and feel that base of support stay stable throughout the movement. So the next part is going to be focusing on the area where golfers typically lose that feeling of balance. So as we're bringing the club down into impact, we can feel like the club either gets away from us, that is almost dragging us off that balance where we can't basically control our body into the follow through and the finish. So what I'm going to show you is a really good drill and exercise that can help create that feeling of what balance should actually be. It's not with a golf club, so it's almost like creating better awareness, and also can we use this as a test to go, can I actually use my stability and coordination to keep that feeling of balance, to know how achievable it actually is during the golf swing. So using a medicine ball or a slam ball and something to throw against, we're going to take a golf posture. We don't need to do this super powerful. Naturally, this will be an exercise where we're trying to develop rotational force and power. We will build up to that, but we're trying to create that awareness first of what a balanced and stable follow through would feel like. So in slow motion, without me letting go of the ball, as I push into that lead side, I want to be able to create that straight line feeling of stability through the foot, the knee, the hip and the core to be able to rotate around and release that ball. So if I throw the ball and show a loss of stability, we'd probably feel like we can't control that body as we're throwing and let go of the ball. We want to feel like we can really push and stabilize through that lead side and rotate that body around, keeping that stability and perfect control. Creating that awareness and feel means we then can go a little bit more powerfully, and then we can start to feel if we can transfer that with a golf club and create the same feeling. And then we'll get a clear idea whether we're losing balance through a technical problem with how we're delivering the club, or whether there's a physical element to it as well, or a combination of the two. The final drill is going to piece all these areas together. This is probably a little bit more complex to understand, but if we can do this drill effectively, you'll get a clear understanding of where stability and coordination and that feeling of balance comes from. All you need to do is take a club. It doesn't really matter which club. You're just going to put your left hand or your lead hand on top of the grip, so the club head is facing in this direction with your trail hand underneath towards the middle of the shaft, so a split grip position. We're going to try and focus on what it feels like to push into the lead side and to create a large amount of acceleration quickly, and then put the brakes on hard to be able to push out the ground. So whenever we lose balance or that stability, often that is down to a player accelerating through their lower body, often coupled with their hands and arms at the same time, and essentially they're not de-accelerating, they're not braking, they keep accelerating. That's where we see a lot of sliding, thrusting towards the target, and a lot of face control, and then that's where we can lose stability. So what we're looking to do in this drill is this feeling. I'm going to show this in slow motion. As I pull my hands and arms down towards impact, I want to try and almost stop the club so it doesn't go into a follow through. And in order for me to do that aggressively, you see how my lead side extends, rotates and gets out of the way, and I've used my core to put the brakes on from the ground up. So done properly, we should get this motion. See here, I'm putting the brakes on hard to be able to stop that club from moving and pulling me out in direction. So I'm essentially pulling myself down and back using a hard acceleration and then a hard deacceleration. And that creates stability from the ground up. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. The information in this video links really well to pressure shift. If you haven't already, watch this video next.